video, we got your environment configured and your repo structure sorted. Now we're getting into ingestion. And this is the part that most directly affects the quality of what Blitzy generates. We're continuing with CalDIY as our example, the open source scheduling platform. It's the same codebase and we'll be picking up right where we left off. Ingestion is where Blitzy goes deep on your codebase. It reads everything and produces what's called a technical specification. It's an internal document that captures how your system is built, what it does, and how everything fits together. Every code generation decision Blitzy makes is built on top of that spec. Blitzy is really good at reading code, but code only tells part of the story. It can't tell why an architectural decision was made, it doesn't know your domain terminology, it doesn't know which parts of the codebase are sensitive or shouldn't be touched. That's what our ingestion prompt is for. You're giving Blitzy the context it can't get from reading files alone. Think of an ingestion prompt like onboarding a brilliant new engineer who's never worked in your industry before. They can read every file in the repo in 5 minutes, but without you telling them what the product does, what the domain terms mean, and what the non-obvious constraints are, they're going to make decisions that are technically fine but don't actually fit. That's the gap an ingestion prompt closes. A good ingestion prompt covers 4 things: what the product actually does in its core workflows, domain terminology in any compliance context, the current state of the codebase and what's actively changing, and what to ignore. Legacy code, deprecated past, generated files. So here's what that looks like for CalDIY. I start with what the product actually does. It's a scheduling platform. Users create event types, share a booking link, invitees pick a time. That's not obvious from just reading TypeScript files. Then I document the architecture. It's a monorepo. Here's what lives where. Then there's domain terminology. Words like event type, booking, availability, host. Those mean specific things in this codebase, and Blitzy needs to know that. And then constraints. All-time handling is UTC internally, auth goes through next auth only, and finally what to ignore, which ties into the blitzyignore file. That context is the difference between Blitzy generating code that's technically correct and code that feels like it actually belongs to your codebase. This brings me to the .blitzyignore. Create this file in your repository root or your parent repository before you run ingestion. It's the same exact syntax as a git ignore if you're familiar with that file. So for CalDIY, I'm excluding the generated Prisma client that's auto-generated from the schema. It's not handwritten code, the yarn cache, and the PNP internals. The test mocks, the Next.js build output, any snapshots, and the example apps directory, which is reference code, not the core product. 2 reasons that this matters. 1, it saves quota, so excluded files don't count towards your usage in Blitzy. 2, it keeps Blitzy's analysis focused on the code that actually represents your product. The sharper the analysis, the better the spec, the better the output. So make sure to commit this file to the repository and the whole team gets it automatically. .blitzyignore in your repository parent root. Ingestion prompt written and ready. Environment attached to your project. You'll run ingestion and Blitzy has everything it needs. In the next video, we'll go through how to review a tech spec and what Blitzy actually does with this code it's ingestion. That's where you'll actually see all of this pay off. I'll put a link in the description for how to write a good ingestion prompt and what this all looks like.